of the School of Light, which is a non-profit Bible study correspondence course through the mail. And we are in the chapter 13 of Numbers. And let's hop right to it. Oh, if you'd like a correspondence Bible study course, it never costs you a penny. We send it to you, prepaid stamp, dressed envelope, all that stuff. You put the answers in the envelope that comes to us. We grade it. We put it in your file. Once you finish a series, we send you a certificate of completion. And enough of those, if you want, you can work toward college credit. Let's hop right to it. Chapter 13. The Lord said to Moses, "Send some of the men to explore the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites. From each ancestral tribe, send one of its leaders." So at the Lord's command, Moses sent them out from the desert of Paran. All of them were leaders of the Israelites. These are their names. From the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, son of Sakur. So there's one from every tribe. Look. From the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat, son of Hori. From the tribe of Judah, Caleb, son of Jephunneh. From the tribe of Issachar, Igal, son of Joseph. From the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun. From the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu. From the tribe of Zebulun, Gadil, son of Sodi. From the tribe of Manasseh, a tribe of Joseph, Kadi, son of Susi. From the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gemilai. From the tribe of Asher, Sethur, son of Michael. From the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, son of Vospi. And from the tribe of Gad, Gul, son of Maki. These are the names of the men Moses sent to explore the land. Moses gave Hoshea, son of Nun, the name Joshua. So you've heard of Joshua. Before Moses changed his name to Joshua, he was Hoshea, which is very similar to Jesus in that language. Hoshea, Yeshua. When Moses sent them to explore Canaan, he said, "Go up from the Negev and onto the hill country. See what the land is like and whether the people who live there are strong or weak, few or many. What kind of land do they live in? Is it good or bad? What kind of towns do they live in? Are they unwalled or fortified? How is the soil? Is it fertile or poor? Are there trees on it or not? Do your best to bring back some of the fruit of the land." It was the season of the grapes. So they went up and explored the land from the desert of Zin as far as Rehob toward Lebo, Hamath. They went up through the Negev and came to Hebron, where Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, and the descendants of Anak lived. Hebron had been built there 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. When they reached the valley of Eshcol, they cut off a branch bearing a single cluster of grapes. Two of them carried it on a pole between them along some pomegranates and figs. The place was called the Valley of Eshcol because the cluster of grapes the Israelites cut off there. At the end of 40 days, they returned from exploring the land. They came back to Moses and Aaron and to the whole assembly of Israel at Kadesh in the desert of Paran. They reported to them and to the whole assembly and showed them the fruit of the land. They gave Moses this account: "We went into the land which it sent us into, and it does flow with milk and honey. Here is its fruit, but the people who live there are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. We even saw the descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites live in the Negev, the Hittites, the Jebusites, and Amorites live in the hill country, and the Canaanites live near the sea along the Jordan." Then Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, "We should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it." But the men who had gone up with him said, "We can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are." And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they had explored. They said, "The land we explored devours those living in it, and all the people we saw are of great size. We saw the Nephilim, which were the descendants of Anak. They came from the Nephilim, which were like a angel mixed with angel and man, which end up becoming big men. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them." All right, so man, there's how many minutes we got? 4. I can maybe put 2 chapters into. No. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try to put 2 chapters in 10 minutes. This is chapter 14. So first, recap. They wanted to go. They did. Caleb said, "We can do it." The others were like, "Oh no, we're scared." That night, all the people of the community raised their voices and wept out loud. All the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The whole assembly said to them, "If only we had died in Egypt or in this desert. Why is the Lord bringing us to this land only to let us fall by the sword? Our wives and our children will be taken as plunder. Wouldn't it have been better for us to go back to Egypt?" And they said to each other, "We should choose a leader and go back to Egypt." Then Moses and Aaron fell face down in front of the whole Israelite assembly gathered there. Joshua son of Nun and Caleb son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had explored the land, tore their clothes and said to the entire Israelite assembly, "The land we passed through and explored is exceedingly good. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us into that land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and he will give it to us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will swallow them up. Because we will swallow them up. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them." So this is Joshua. So Joshua and Caleb are 2 out of 12 that are saying we can do it. God said we could, we could. The other ones are crying, let's go back, let's go turn ourselves into be slaves again. At least we can eat food and we won't die by the sword, by the Canaanites and stuff. But the whole assembly talked about stoning them. Then the glory of the Lord appeared at the tent of meeting. So they're going to stone Joshua and Caleb for having courage. Then the glory of the Lord appeared to them in the tent of meeting. The Lord said to Moses, "How long will these people treat me with contempt? How long will they refuse to believe in me? In spite of all the miraculous signs I have performed among them, I will strike them down with the plague and destroy them, but I will make you into a great nation, greater and stronger than they." Moses said to the Lord, "Then the Egyptians will hear about it. By your power you brought them out of Egypt, and they will tell their inhabitants in the land, they have already heard that you, O Lord, are with these people, and that you, O Lord, have been seen face to face, that your cloud stays over them, and that you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. If you put these people to death all at one time, the nation who have heard this will report about you, will say, 'The Lord was not able to bring these people into the land he promised on oath, so he slaughtered them in the desert.' Now may the Lord's strength be displayed, just as you have declared. The Lord is slow to anger, abounding in love and forgiving sin and rebellion, yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punishes the children for the sin of their fathers to the third and fourth generation. In accordance with your great love, forgive the sins of these people, just as you have pardoned them from the time they left Egypt until now." The Lord replied, "I have forgiven them as you asked. Nevertheless, as surely as I live, and as surely as the glory of the Lord fills the whole earth, not one of them who saw my glory in the miraculous signs I performed in Egypt and in the desert, but who disobeyed and tested me 10 times, not one of them will ever see the land I promised on oath to their forefathers. No one has treated me with contempt. No one who has treated me with contempt will ever see it." So here is God saying, you know what? If you've seen me do these miracles and you're here crying like a little, like all your faith just drained out of you, you're not going across. The only one that's going are the ones that had faith, and that's only Joshua and Caleb. But because my servant Caleb has a different spirit and follows me wholeheartedly, I will bring him into the land he went to, and his descendants will inherit it. Since the Amalekites and the Canaanites are living in the valleys, turn back tomorrow and set out toward the desert along the route to the Red Sea. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "How long will this wicked community grumble against me? I have heard the complaints of these grumbling Israelites, so tell them, as surely as I live, declares the Lord, I will do to you the very things I heard you say. In this desert your bodies will fall, every one of you 20 years old or more, who was counted in the census and who has grumbled against me. Not one of you entered this land I swore with uplifted hand to make your home, except for Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, the son of Nun." "As for your children, and that you said would be taken as plunder, I will bring them in to enjoy the land you have rejected. But your bodies will fall in the desert. Your children will be the shepherds here for 40 years, suffering for your unfaithfulness until the last of your bodies lies in the desert. For 40 years, 1 year for each of the 40 days you explored the land, you will now suffer for your sins and know what it's like to have me against you. I, the Lord, have spoken, and I will surely do these things to the whole wicked community, which is banded together against me. They will meet their end in this desert. Here they will die." So the men had sent to explore the land, who returned and made the whole community grumble against him by spreading a bad report about it. These men responsible for spreading the bad report about the land were struck down and died of a plague before the Lord. One of the men who went to explore the land Of the men who went to explore the land, only Joshua and Caleb survived. When Moses reported this to all the Israelites, they mourned bitterly. Early the next morning, they went up toward the hill country. We have sinned, they said. We will go up to the place the Lord has promised. But Moses said, why are you disobeying the Lord's command? This will not succeed. Do not go up because the Lord is not with you. You will be defeated by your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites will face you there because you have turned away from the Lord. He's not with you, and you will fall by the sword there. Nevertheless, in their presumption, they went up toward the hill country. Neither Moses nor the ark of the Lord's covenant moved with the camp. Then the Amalekites and Canaanites who lived in that country came down and attacked them and beat them down all the way to Hormah. So, I guess the question is, what's in our life right now that's like God is leading us to the promised land? What is it? And he's like leading us to it. And here's this, whatever it could be in our case, right? In their case, they're big, they're giants, they're powerful, they're have walled cities and armies, and there's so many of them, right? That was for them. But what is it for you, right? God's trying to lead you into a promised land, whatever that is. Here's you. God's leading you, and He wants you to go through it into the promised land. Just go get it. Just go. It's right here. It's on this side. Just go ahead and step into it, right? But what is it that's mentally or emotionally or whatever blocking us? Like, oh man, I can't really cross this because it's hard to call people, or it's hard to ask for help, or it's hard to do this. And what did God do to those that didn't have the faith? You won't enter. The other ones, they might enter into the promised land. Your sons, they didn't see me do miraculous things and then drop out of faith. So be like Caleb and Joshua. That's all I can say for today. And I'm going to try to as well. It's not as easy, but if we just take that, you hit this thing, it's just like, go on over. Here's the border, right? It's not like a very defensive border. They're crossing in and out of it. So it's like, illustration wise, here's a little hump, oh, I can't. You're this tall. Oh, I can't. Well, go ahead and walk across it. Just take that step. Go over it. Believe God. Go into your promised land.